trying to organise a hide-and-seek tournament, but you know, good players are really hard to find.
Oh, God.
There you go. We're off. Flying start. Just so you know, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, in the background, there were multiple attempts to try and stop me from doing multiple jokes. You see, and there's the green room. They're trying to work out the right response to stop me from continuing.
This feels like a lead up to another one.
No,
I'm bracing.
Bracing. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm trying to save them because you know what? I got sent a whole heap of them by a friend.
I wouldn't say that was a friend.
Oh, I would. Well, let's put it this way. You know, we might well need the humour as we go on. But anyway, so I might have to inject a few later on in the proceedings. But anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog version 2, episode 64. I'm Lee.
I'm not Darren still.
And I am once again not Jim.
And once again, I'm not Elton, filling in the space that's obviously left by Darren. So, there you go. Yes, Mr. Barnard, he is done off again. He is not clubbing seals in the Antarctic, like I said last week. He is now stealing food from charity bins. So
I thought he was on safari shooting zebras.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
And lions, and then posing in front of them.
That's right. He was going to pose in front of the last living rhino before he shot it.
That was it, yes.
He
said he needed a new door knocker.
That's it, yeah.
No, I thought Darren Diamond wanted the powdered horn.
Oh, of course, yeah. See, powdered rhino horn, you know. Yeah. And after that, wasn't he going to do some sort of like people trafficking? I think that was the other thing he was going to do.
I think he was going to set up his own sweatshop and get the little kids to sew footballs together.
That's right. Yeah. He was, and then it was.
And he doesn't even like football.
No, he doesn't. See, that's the kind of evil person he is, ladies and gentlemen. We're just pulling back the curtain for what's going on when he's not on this cast. I think he's also doing some cockfighting as well, isn't he? Bear baiting.
That's what his videos suggest. Yes.
That's what his YouTube page on the dark web says.
If you go to the OED next year and look under, you'll have somebody's eye out with that. You'll see pictures.
Anyway, there you go. So Darren's not here.
I've just got that mental picture, oh my God, of him just walking in going, helicopter.
Yeah. It's a motorboat. Look, do you want to see how you get 2 pounds of meat out of a fly? Now allow me to do my famous elephant impression without using my hands. Anyway, he's not here. So, yes, this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been. And then we will be, if there's any feedback for this week, for last week's episode, which was Captain Phillips, we'll read that out. And then after that, we shall move on to this week's movie, which was your pick, Jim, which was?
Llamageddon.
Indeed, Llamageddon.
I believe there's a sequel coming called Alpacapocalypse.
Alpacalypse. Nice. Yeah. Well, it's we like to stay topical because, obviously there's all that thing going on in the news in the UK here about the alpaca, Geronimo the alpaca. People marching on 10 Downing Street to save him before he gives bovine tuberculosis to all the farmers.
Really?
Herds.
Is this a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to execute this llama because it might have TB, but they're not sure. But apparently they have to kill it just in case. Then they can do a test and find out whether they killed it unnecessarily.
Yeah.
So they can't do a blood
Why can't you do a
check?
test first? What's the problem here?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're
Can't you self-isolate and put a mask on like the rest of us who've been for 16 fucking months?
Yeah, I don't know. The entire population of the Earth goes into hiding for like 18 months, whereas 1 alpaca coughs and we just shoot it from a distance.
Yeah. Let's just say that Johnson has got TB as well. Oh, what a shame. We have to put him down as well.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I think he's got the bovine TB. I think that's where everyone sort of like said patient zero. Look at that. Look at that hairy clown. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. So we are a topical podcast as well because, obviously we have our finger on the pulse of llama news.
We're alpacking it in today, aren't we?
Oh, we are.
Nice.
Yeah. God almighty. I'm not going to you're trying to tease me into another one. I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna keep the powder dry because, like I say,
because you can't Google that quick.
No, because I bloody well can't. I can't look up llama puns. Hold on, llama puns. Oh God, I can't even type puns. There you go. 100 best llama puns. There's 100 apparently.
Oh
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. When someone says something obvious to a llama, they say, "No spit, Sherlock."
Oh, please. No. I didn't mean to drive us down this cul-de-sac.
Alpacas who are fans of Star Trek say, "Live llama and prosper." Alpaca's favourite songs are "A Whole Llama Love" by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, stop. He's already dead.
Well, you started it. But anyway, yes. Yeah. After yoga classes, llamas always say "Namaste." Not as good. No, I say that. See, they're stretching, and that's only at number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 100 best llama puns is kind of, yeah. Hold on. No, alpacas spend their quality time cuddling. Jesus, this is fucking awful. Yeah, even I'm put off by that. Right, anyway, moving on. We shall now find out how everyone's week's been. So we'll start with you, Jim. See how your week's been. Up until about 20 minutes ago when we started this cast and you regretted actually clicking connect. How's the rest of it been?
Well, that regrets about this particular week's cast. I think they kicked in probably about 10:10 Saturday night.
Well,
but powder dry.
Yeah, I think we might all be feeling that. Yeah. Anyway,
been the usual rubbish. But in an attempt not just to be a bit more upbeat, generally. I've now sort of mastered making our own iced tea.
Oh, very nice.
So got some fresh mint come up in the garden, and tried a few different recipes and settled on one I particularly like and kind of works well. And just to tie back to some birthday news, iced tea with a shot of genuine Russian vodka is very drinkable indeed.
Nice.
And only occasionally leads you to staying up till 2:30 in the morning watching old music videos on YouTube and be like, oh shit, it's Monday. What am I doing?
Yeah. No urge to join Public Enemy then?
Not quite yet.
No, okay, fair enough.
I made my own mayonnaise, which is not a euphemism.
Oh, nice.
Get that in now.
Yeah. Beat that one to the punch.
I can't. We're cooking something. Oh God, I've got no mayonnaise for the salad, and it's kind of like, oh, we've just got in. Could we go out again? Not really.
No.
Should we make do without it? No, not really. Can we make some? How hard is it? I mean, it can't be that hard, surely.
Right.
And actually, no, mayonnaise is, I looked up online. Basically, it's egg yolks, salt and pepper, pinch of mustard, a bit of lemon juice, and a bit of vinegar, and a rather large amount of oil, which you just whisk it all in slowly together.
Nice.
But if I knew what I knew now, I'd have got the food mixer out. But I thought, no, it won't take that long. I'll mix it by hand. It's like 10 minutes. Like, fucking hell, wish I did.
It would be quicker to go to the shops.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of a. You do have to add the oil gradually, so it still take an age with the food mixer. And I got some exercise, so that's good.
Oh, that's good.
But it came out really nice, and although having said that, it's kind of all the recipes I tried for making your own fresh mayonnaise. Said, we'll keep for a day in the fridge.
A day?
Well, that's it. I'm thinking, okay then. So I got the supermarket. There's low fat, there's vegan, there's full fat, there's have a heart attack granddad mayonnaise, all in jars, 3 months sell by date, not even refrigerated. What the fuck is in that shit? Seriously. What the fuck is in that shit to stop it killing you?
I don't know.
I think it's a trade-off here.
Yeah. I don't even want to consider what's in off the shelf mayonnaise that keeps it without killing you for more than a day. There's just.
Well, this is it. When you make it yourself, it just kind of this doesn't keep very long at all. It's kind of okay.
Yeah, when it's fresh, it's fine. But when it's not fresh, we sell it to the shops. Put 10,000 tons of chemical in it.
Yeah, very suspect.
Nice.
So that was a bit of an eye opener, really. So I think I might keep on making my own mayonnaise because. I don't care how fucking healthy the light stuff is. It's probably full of fucking poison, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
it's probably preserving you from the inside.
Yeah. At your cremation, you'll burn with a blue flame mysteriously. Yeah.
But see, the last few years I've been watching my weight, I've been amazed about the things you all buy that you think are healthy that actually. You might as well have just had a bowl full of chocolate and lard.
That's it.
It would have been healthier, frankly.
Yeah. Well, that's I've always maintained that. There I am. I'm eating the most unhealthy shit because I'm as fussy eater as you could possibly imagine, and here I am at the age of 50. Ugh. We'll get to that in a minute. And I'm just kind of strolling about, being perfectly healthy and fine. And then there's my dad who ate all the good stuff, and he's got a quadruple bypass at 52, and that was the end of it. So just goes to show. You see, don't eat salad. That's all I'm saying. Proof.
The reason why animals don't live as long as us.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. How long does a rabbit live? It lives nothing but lettuce and pellets. See, that's all the proof you need.
That's science, folks.
That's science. That's empirical.
Heard it here first.
Empirical analysis. Reject the green. Eat the chocolate. I'll put that on a t-shirt, I think. Right, cool. So homemade mayonnaise, because I can't say that you've made your own mayonnaise. I just can't resist the euphemism of it. So I'm just going to have to leave that.
Yeah, homemade mayonnaise, homemade iced tea, and also mastering making my own buns as well.
Oh, dude, seriously, come on.
You're killing us here.
Next week, making your own sausage.
Jim puts his homemade sausage in his homemade bun and then produces his homemade mayonnaise. When you stick a sausage between two buns, what do you expect?
The OnlyFans page will be opening soon.
Jesus.
And that was my week.
That was your week. God, next time I watch D.D. Smith, I'm going to have the right horn. Okay, well, there you go. Well, Elton, top that.
I can't top that, unfortunately. The only thing I've done this week is watch a movie, and that was it.
Okay, what did you watch?
What did I watch? I actually regret watching this movie. It's called The Mule.
Oh,
it's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, go on in.
Well, that was... I've never been a massive Clint Eastwood fan.
No.
And on this performance, I'm probably not going to be for the rest of my life.
Well, the rest of his.
The rest of his life as well, yes. He plays a drug mule, shifting drugs for the Mexican cartel. Mm-hmm. And it's just an old man driving. That's all this film is. Mm-hmm. Just an old man driving.
Nice.
I get enough of that. I get stuck behind most of these people. They must all be drug mules around Norwich and Ipswich and all them sort of places. Because, man, I get stuck behind all of them.
Yeah. Especially those ones with the caravans full of cocaine, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just pottering down the road, down the A12.
But I get... There are some films where people play older than what they are. And I know the dude's in his 90s. You know, bravo to him for doing this. He directed this movie as well. He's still doing that sort of thing. Bravo to him. I applaud him for doing that. But there are films where, I'm forgetting the name of it, but there was a film with Jack Nicholson and someone else playing like old farts driving around in camper vans. I can't remember the name of it, but it was... They reached a certain age, and then they were like, oh, well, we'll just play scatty old men because we can get away with it, but it'll be humorous. I'm watching this going, oh, God, don't fall over. Oh, God. Oh, no. And you can just tell it's... Everyone's like, are we going to make this to the end of this movie? I'm really not sure. Have you checked him yet? Oh, no, he is still there. Okay, fine.
Check his balls.
And when you say action, just say it really quietly.
Yeah, don't give him a shock.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's... Oh, I was sat there I started watching it on my lunch. And I was like, not really enjoying this, but I'll keep with it and see where it goes. And it was dreadful. It really was dreadful. There's not a lot to actually discuss in it because it goes through all the old tropes of, oh, he has this car and then he gets like a brand new car because he's a drug baron type thing. And of course he is. And you're like, well, don't get that. Because now you're not very inconspicuous, a 90-year-old man driving in a brand new car that's worth £50,000.
Yeah. That
just screams, you dodge pot. Massive dodge pot here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just, I don't know. I haven't seen the films, but it already sounds pretty fucking tedious.
And the ending is just like, it wraps up really, really quickly. You think there are some moments where you think, okay, this could be going somewhere, and without spoiling anything, you think he's in a situation, and you're like, okay, this could go either this way, or this way. And it doesn't go any of the ways. But
does it turn out he's been asleep in his old people's home all along?
He's just woken up by someone tapping him on the shoulder going, Clint, Clint.
Time for your bed bomb.
Yeah. When it doesn't go the way that you think, it's not a surprise, weirdly enough. You're like, oh, okay. So we're going there. And then it's like, we can't think of an ending, so let's wrap it up here. Thank you very much. And you're like, what just happened? I sat through an hour and 50 odd minutes of that, and I don't. Why? No. What are you doing to me? And so I felt very deflated and just let down. I was looking forward to this could be the. It could be like a hidden gem of his. I think it's a different thing. But then I look back and it says that he's a 90-year-old Korean War veteran. And then you go back to Gran Torino and he's a Korean War veteran in that one as well. And I'm sure a million other times he's been a Korean War veteran as well. And you're like, Okay. Okay. And
Are you suggesting that Clint Eastwood plays the type?
I think he plays the type, but also sorts it out himself because he's directing most of these as well, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he gives himself his own cool job.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I sing the theme tune. I write the theme tune.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gran Torino, and I've heard it's really, really good. But I'm guessing, just guessing, maybe you should have stopped there. That would have been a great place to punch out.
Okay.
I'm not saying, I'm not killing him. That wasn't a threat, Mr. Eastwood. But
That's all right. He stopped listening to this when we... he stopped listening to this back in sort of episode 205 of the original. I know that. He sent me a very nice letter, but, he couldn't make his Microsoft Zune work.
was it Unforgiven that he did as well?
Yeah.
I always forget what...
So does he.
cover that?
Yes, we did.
I can't remember. I thought that was a terrible movie as well. Everyone loves that movie. I don't understand it.
I do, but I take what you're saying. I do understand. I think we had a slightly different opinion last time we watched it, but I think it was more of a kind of. I think we'd seen too many sort of rapey Clint movies because every single movie we did all the westerns, didn't we? And there was High Plains Drifter and that and. Every single one where Clint turns up, someone ends up getting done in a barn.
Well, he didn't do anyone in a barn in this.
Well, that I think everyone's grateful for that, including his hip.
And his little ticker as well.
Yes, as he calls it.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure he'll...
At that age, it stops working.
I'm sure he'll outlive me, and God bless you for that. But this was just... a waste of 2 hours. So I would highly recommend people don't watch this movie.
Okay, there you go. And where can we avoid this? What did you watch it on Netflix or Amazon?
I think it was on Netflix.
Okay.
I think it's just jumped on Netflix as well. But
nice.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. That's lovely. Isn't that lovely? Okay. So that's it for you then for your week.
Yeah. Really, yeah. Jacob got really good A-level grades, but
good.
That's his news, not mine. So,
Okay.
but we're all very happy, all very proud, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to getting a new spare room because he'll be clearing off soon. Yay!
Yay! Yeah. The problem is that spare room is now going to cost you $9,000 in university fees.
Yeah.
I would have much rather just kept him at home and paid $9,000 for an extension. Don't worry, I'm facing it. I'm facing it the year after, mate. So don't worry, I'm down that barrel as well.
Yep. I'll tell you how it is in a year's time. Then, yeah.
Well, yeah. Just tell me how it is. Yeah. Just give me the heads up and let me know so I can start saving now. Yeah. Okie dokie. Cool. Right, well, I guess it's my week, isn't it? I can't ask Darren.
Happy birthday!
Oh God, yes, yes, yeah. I'll do that bit first. Yeah, it was my birthday. I am now half a century old, which is more terrifying to me than I actually thought I'd ever realise until I actually had to say those words out loud. And then lots of people telling me all sorts of things that happen to people when they're 50, including one of my daughters who informed me that at this sort of age I'm 30% more likely to die on my birthday than any other day of the year. Oh, cheers! Thanks for that. Thanks. That's lovely. That is. By the way, do you want to borrow my shoes? What the fuck is that kind of conversation?
They're the ones with wheels in the bottom, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right, the Heelys. But no, I got my usual sort of barrage of prezzies, which is which are when you show them to someone, they say, "Oh, great!" And when is he 13? And then it's like, no, he's a 50-year-old man, and he's got like a pop figure of Veronica, the Iron Man Hulkbuster suit, and a plastic alien walking a dog, and that sort of thing. I know, but Darren sent me an Airfix kit of the Space Shuttle Atlantis, which was quite cool. I got that. I did ask for Challenger, to be honest, because then I wouldn't have had to put it together. What? Oh, for God's sakes! It's like 40 fucking years ago. Give it a break. I think the moratorium's passed on that joke, isn't it?
Oh well, break out the 7-Up then.
There you go. Yeah, and then I also got some. I got one book from Carol, which was a Ghostbusters art book, like a celebration thing for like the 30th anniversary or the 35th anniversary of it. And I thought, oh, this is great. You know, one of these things. I really love art books. I've collected them. I mean, if you look behind me where I'm sitting right now, there is like literally 4 shelves of art books. And so I was like, oh, this is really great. But after about the first few pages, I'm looking at it. And when you look at like making of books and art books and that sort of thing, you sort of think, oh, God, look at the stuff that these people are producing. It's astounding. But the art of Ghostbusters, it's one of those ones where I actually found myself more depressed the further on I went. Because there's stuff where you go, oh, that's a nice portrait. That's a nice bit of design work. That's a nice poster, you know, because it's basically asking famous artists to do their sort of, I don't know, their take on it, shall we say. Mm-hmm. And, but by the time I got to the middle, it was clear that they were just trawling fucking deviant art for anyone who just did something with the hashtag of Ghostbusters, because some of the art in there is fucking awful. And I was sitting there going, I could have had some of my stuff in here. I could have had some of the doodles that I do when we're recording the podcast, for fuck's sake. And yeah, I was a bit, okay. that wasn't very encouraging.
That's not good.
Nah, it's not good. But outside of that, I got loads of my old DVDs replaced with Blu-rays. I got like a package that was like about 15 Blu-rays of all sorts of stuff that I've only ever had on DVD. So I was very pleased with that, including a 4K version of Akira, which I'm really pleased with. But all I need now is a 4K player. And
what?
Go on.
What do they do? They just like use thinner pencils or something?
What do you mean?
With
what?
The 4K.
It's 4 times the picture information.
I know, but this is the thing that bugs me about this sort of thing. I get the Blu-ray stuff, but there becomes a certain point where it becomes more lifelike. And I know these are drawings, but a film will become more lifelike and more information than I can actually see in my physical life anyway.
Right.
So what is the point?
The point is that you get to see it as cinema quality. So when you're seeing like a cinema screen, you're seeing sort of, well, between 4K and 8K resolution. So you're seeing like 8,000 pixels across by, well, what is that? It's 16.9, I guess. Let's say 9,000 pixels across by 16,000 pixels across by 9,000 high. You know, whereas when you're looking at a JPEG, you're looking at a 1900 pixels by 1080 high. So it is the resolution is fundamentally sharper. I mean, there is a law of diminishing returns once you get to 8K and beyond, because you need to have a screen big enough to make it worth your while. Yeah. But 4K is kind of where it's at right now, and your telly is a 4K telly. Yeah. So I lay money that when you look at something on, like, instead of pressing 101 for BBC One, you put it on just 1 and watch the old analog version of BBC One. Oh yeah. It looks like toffee dripped in shit. It looks like a falling in a muddy puddle. Exactly, and every pixel's about 80 foot wide. Yeah. And everything, it's like someone's made a mosaic out of crepe paper and toffee. I keep saying toffee. I don't know why. Maybe I fancy a toffee. Anyway, maybe that's
all I'm getting at is I've seen the clearest picture I've seen. Weirdly enough, was my mother-in-law's TV. I think she's got like a 42-inch Sony Bravia TV, right? And she was playing Avatar for the kids on Blu-ray. And it felt like I could reach in and touch the screen and touch the people in there because that's how clear the picture was. It felt more lifelike than real life.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it because I like that silver screen type thing. I like my films being films in the little telly box and me sat on the sofa. I don't want them to be around me.
You know what that is, though? I tell you what that is, and I think we mentioned it on this cast before, I think years ago, maybe. But it's because most 4K and most 1080 HD tellies, especially modern ones, have frame blending.
Yeah.
And frame blending basically means that you get more... you get imaginary frames made in between the frames you see, so it makes everything smoother.
Is that what... That's video did that, didn't it?
Yeah, video did it, but you know, like that Hobbit film came out, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's 48 frames a second and everything."
Yeah,
and it ended up looking like a BBC live play. You know, when they used to do plays on telly, in the 70s, and they recorded them live, and it's like
basically it makes everything look like Neighbours.
Yeah, makes everything look super smooth, and that's because your brain is trained to watch things at 24 frames a second, so you're expecting to see things judder.
I don't like it. I really don't like it. I like seeing the lens of the TV. If you know what I mean.
You like seeing the smuts.
I like the reflection when the dog walks past.
Yeah, well, that's fine, but that's also the settings on your telly. That's not necessarily the 4K resolution thing. The 4K is more about the information on your screen. So look at Blade Runner and in 4K, and you'll see pipes on the ships, and you'll see lights that you didn't see before because the pixels were too small to be seen, and all this kind of thing. Or
you'll see the sandwich, the effects men left on the side of one building,
crumbs,
that kind of crap.
Yeah, crumbs down the odd bit of ramen noodle down Harrison Ford's front where he didn't eat it properly. All that kind of stuff.
That is really cool, but then you go to
the
Akira.
strings working. What's her name?
Sean Young, pulling her around.
But then you go to Akira, and it's just drawings. So I'm not going to get any more information, am I?
But
I'm not, am I?
But you are.
I don't think I am.
I mean, this. Okay, long and the short of it is, if you see the cells that they made, they are paintings, and huge paintings at that.
Oh, I know.
And then they're taking that information and they're crushing it down. So there's like details in the artwork. There's details in the animation. There's details that they animated and they saw. And when you saw it at the cinema, you saw it. But when you just put it on a telly, you don't see it. Just even like hair waving. Wrinkles in the clothing, which is all, insubstantial bollocks. You still got a film, you got to watch it. But yeah, I just like gorgeous artwork and gorgeous pictures and things that look lovely. And
oh no, I totally agree, and I love Akira, but I don't know. I think with animation like that, there will become a time where you just don't get any more.
Oh yeah, well, like I say, it's a law of diminishing returns because the higher the resolution and the smaller the screen, the less you're getting out of it. So
the next step up would be you're gone to 4 to 8, and then it'd be like 32, won't it?
16.
Why would it be 16? Because you're only cutting the pixels in half, then, aren't you? Not into 4s.
No. But everything's actually, I suppose you could go. It's basically it's 4. It's 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 10, 24 onwards.
Yeah,
and the telly pricing goes in the same increments.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, for a decent 8K telly, the only way you're going to actually see the resolution improvement is if your telly is like 72 inches. If you've got an 8K telly and it's the same, it's a 42-inch sitting in the corner, you're wasted your money.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a 4K telly, you need to get to get the most out of it. You've got to be looking at a 50-inch and upwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you got 4K, you got 4,096 pixels across by X amount of pixels up. You ain't seeing it. So that's why you notice now, if you look on like Curry's and all these kind of websites, you look at the telly sizes, you try and look at the 42-inch telly, and you go, you can't find an 8K 40-inch telly. You just can't, because there's no point. This is all. Welcome to the Tech Podcast. How's your weekly?
Well, cool. I've always struggled with it. I've always struggled with the real high def stuff. I think it looks glorious, but sometimes I spend more time going, "Oh, look, that looks really more lifelike than the real lifelike gun."
Well,
what the hell's going on?
If you look at your telly and look under your settings, the chances are the best thing for you to do is to go and look under your frame blending settings under your picture.
Yeah.
Because you'll find it, if you like what you're looking at, the chances are that's turned off.
Yeah.
And if you put it into like cinema, it deliberately turns
motion smoothing.
Yeah, if you
the euphemisms they use for it.
Exactly, motion smoothing. And then if you put motion smoothing on, which is I think when you put it into game mode, because then its refresh rate is much higher. Mm-hmm. Then if you do that, then you watch a film, you'll be like, oh, this looks cheap and horrible and nasty.
Yeah. It looked like 1980s telly.
Yeah, exactly.
It looked like it's shot on video. That's the effect it has. It ruins movies. Absolutely.
Anyway, but away from that, the only other things I've done, my birthday, the only other thing I was going to say was the shocker was getting home and finding a hot tub in my garden, which took a little bit of mental processing because
I didn't order a time machine.
Exactly. What the fuck is the time machine doing here? But I walked in on the Friday before my birthday, and Carol walked up, and there's the girls still standing behind her, and they're all looking sort of with this kind of like expectant look on their face, and it's like, we've done something silly. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, what have they done? Have they done something stupid? What have they done? Are they, is there something really expensive like a big telly sitting in my living room now? Or, have I got keys to a car that they've hired? Or, something funky? Or what have they done? And then they covered my eyes, and I walked out into the garden, and they uncovered my eyes, and there is this gargantuan fucking adult paddling pool. And I'm like, I don't understand. And I stood there for about 5 minutes going, I don't understand. What is this? What is this?
We got you something warm and wet.
Exactly. This was not what I was expecting. No, and but I will say this. After a few minutes of shock and going, what the hell is this all about? Got in it. Oh my days. I could have spent forever in there. But the problem was, and this was the big problem, was I got out after a while, saying like, "Oh God, I just got to sit down and watch some telly and have my dinner and all this sort of thing." And then what happened was the girls just jumped in, and that was it. It was like, "Oh, right, happy birthday, me."
Yeah,
that's it.
You ain't getting in here anymore.
That was it. That was done. So that was fun. What else happened? Oh, I went to see Suicide Squad at the cinema, which was fun. I liked it a lot. It's a bit overlong, but it was gory, silly, funny. I mean, it's by James Gunn, but it was James Gunn in that kind of James Gunn who made Slither, not James Gunn who made Guardians of the Galaxy. So you go in there and you get the quips and the jokes and all that kind of stuff, but you also get people getting shot in the face by a bazooka and the resulting gore and that kind of thing, blasting all over the place, and comedic gore at that, people literally being ripped in half by a half man, half shark, and other people being dissolved by polka dots and that sort of thing. But what was amazing was that there were like cameo heroes in it, and half of them we'd bloody covered in shitty superheroes back in season 1 of this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, there was Polka Dot Man, there was the Arm Fall Off Boy, or the
Arm Fall Off Boy.
Yeah. And you saw how useless he fucking well was. You really do. His arms kind of come off and they float away and then basically limply slap people on the top of the head until the people shoot the shit out of his arms. But no, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. There was a few bits and pieces where I'm just like, oh, come on, get on with it now. Stop trying to put a story into this. This is about shitty superheroes basically trying to save the world. And but no, it's a good laugh. I would definitely put a thumbs up beside it. Certainly a lot better than the one that came before it, which was absolute dog shit. And speaking of absolute dog shit, I watched the zombie movie The Dead Don't Die, which was sort of sold as a laugh out loud zombie comedy.
It's not. It's a Jim Jarmusch movie.
Yeah, it's a Jim Jarmusch movie where everyone just very drolly looks at things and goes, zombies. Ah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, and everyone is trying to be very, very droll. And at first I thought, okay, I can go with this. It's like kind of, there's Adam Driver and then there's Bill Murray as two cops. Just kind of plodding around this really small town, and there's kind of it's kind of hinted that global fracking has basically thrown the earth off its axis, and because it's now spinning slightly differently, the dead are coming back from the dead are rising. But like the original sort of Romero movies where the zombies were a sort of like metaphor for something, so like in, Night of the Living Dead, it's racism, and in sort of Dawn of the Dead, it's commercialism,
Mm-hmm.
and in Day of the Dead, it's vivisection and science gone mad and all this kind of thing. And you're like, okay, but you get that, sort of subtly being put across in those Romero movies. In this one, zombies turn up and they just tell you what they represent, basically. Like they the zombies stomping around with phones going, free Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. Then kid zombies are walking around going, give me Skittles, give me Skittles.
Right,
and then,
okay.
And redneck ones are going, oh, where's my guns? Where's my guns? And all this kind of thing. And you're just like, oh, please. It's not subtle. It's not even close to subtle. And eventually the film just decides that, what, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And we have one character become a fucking space alien and just fly away for no discernible reason. Other characters just seem to just generally commit suicide because why not? And then you have a conversation between two characters one who says, it's not going to end well. The other one goes, why do you keep saying that? And he turns around and says, the first one turns around and says, because it's in the script.
Right, so it's referencing itself as a movie.
Yeah. The opening has Adam Driver driving along with Bill Murray. And one of them, and he says, he puts in this song called The Dead Don't Die, which is some country and western music track. And it's playing. And Bill Murray goes, now, where have I heard that song before? And Adam Driver, straight-faced, looks straight at him and goes, oh, you've heard it before because that's the theme tune to this film. And it's you sort of think, right? And it wanted to be funny, but it wasn't. And it just thought that by having people just stand around and just say, randomly, you know, they find the two people who've been eaten in a diner, and the first thing that Adam Driver comes out is sees these people have been eaten, and everyone goes, "Is it wild animals? What's killed them?" And Adam Driver just comes out and goes, "Oh well, I think it's zombies." There's no reason for him to say that. There's no reason for him to come out with any of that crap, and they just go, "Oh, zombies, huh?"
And they go with it.
Yeah.
Was any of this to camera?
No.
So no breaking the fourth wall or anything.
Well, it's
like
breaking the fourth wall in many places because it's telling you that they know what's going on. But I don't know. I was just like, what the fuck is this nonsense? And
see, sometimes I'd rather them actually turn to camera and have that little moment of, we're going to explain this to you just so you know. Otherwise, we feel a bit stupid just having the conversation between ourselves for your sake.
Yeah, and the problem is, it's just like you stop giving a shit, and as soon as it seems like everyone else has, you know, and at no point when the zombies are closing in on anyone does anyone show even the remotest bit of, you know, terror or fear or anything. They all just, you know, see zombies and just go, oh no, never mind, you know, down they go. Some characters get introduced and then you never see them again until after they've been eaten, and even then they just dead, and it's just like that. There's even a joke where one character asks for Adam Driver's spare car keys, and he gives the character his car keys, and attached to it is a Star Destroyer, and the character looks at Adam Driver and goes, "Oh, Star Wars. I like those little fantasies." And he goes, "Yeah, well, you know, I quite like them too."
Right.
And he's just like, wah, wah. It's just, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, see that weird delivery of obvious little nods to other people's films. I don't like it. It's not subtle at all, is it?
No.
That's what I don't like. And we've been saying this for years and years and years. The zombie franchise genre, whatever it is, is deader than most of the actors actually working in it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to do something different with it if you're going to do anything. But fuck me, it was tedious. And like I say, everyone just talks in this voice. They just think it's zombies.
Yeah. Have you seen other Jim Jarmusch movies?
Yeah, I have seen other Jim Jarmusch movies, but
this is kind of, you know, this is what he does, really. I mean, being sold being laugh out loud funny and kind of, no. It's a Jim Jarmusch film. Jim Jarmusch makes Jim Jarmusch films.
Yeah, which is
kind of it's kind of the genre of its own. And
I mean, I get the because I've seen like Coffee and Cigarettes and those kind of things where everyone's just pondering things and talking, and if that's what you get, then that's fine. If that's what's sold to you, then that's fine. But if you tell me it's a zombie movie and it's a zombie comedy, and there is neither comedy nor any kind of zombie action which gives you any kind of give a damn. And then randomly make people aliens, then randomly have people reference their own movies, or even that they're having conversations with the director. One character even turns around and says, "I didn't know this was going to happen. I only got the lines of the script where I'm talking to you." Like I say, I mean, I've seen Jim Jarmusch movies before, and you just kind of go with the droll, if you know what I mean. But this is just no, stick to your lane, Jim. Don't try and make a fucking Romero movie. If you can't do metaphors without them actually explicitly saying that they're a metaphor, then what the fuck's the point? So anyway, that was that. So yeah, Dead Don't Die. I mean, it's a curious movie. It's not the worst film I've ever seen, but it's definitely a movie where you sit there going, what the fuck have I just watched? The first half is quite good, though. The build-up to the actual zombie invasion is a typical Jarmusch movie. You're sitting there just going, yeah, these are all characters all being quirky. and then the zombie action happens, and you're just like, "Oh, give over." That's about the size of it. So, yeah, that's it really.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say more about my birthday, but time's running on. And it's all just like, oh, and then I went and had some cake, and then I went and had some food, and then I had a lot more food, and then I went to another place and had food, and then it rained, and then we went home. There you go. I should have done that. I should have just led with that. Anyway, right, so before we move on to the actual review, we did have one piece of feedback for Captain Phillips, which was from Greg Spalding, who just wrote in to say, just watched it this evening, good recommendation, really enjoyed it, but damn, it was tense, because damn, it was tense, wasn't it? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That was a tense film. We also had a little piece of feedback from Martin Thompson, who has been doing an absolute sterling job with the contextless pictures on the Facebook group. But he just wrote to say that, just to comment the fact that it's now increasingly likely that Elton's house is going to keep the Conjuring franchise going for the next 10 years.
Oh, shit a brick.
With your mousy fuse box and your deadly tellies up in the loft, and
I'm going to be touched by the Babadook, aren't I?
Babadook. Yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should do Ju-on for next week's movie. You'd like that. You've seen Ju-on, haven't you? The Grudge? Elton?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I knew you would, Jim. That was never in doubt.
I think I've seen the Sarah Michelle Gellar version. And the Bill Pullman, is it? I think.
Yeah, well done. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, maybe we'll leave that then.
And the little kid that goes...
Yeah, and then when you hide under the duvet, you find the bastards under there with you.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, son of a bitch. Yeah.
She looks at you and goes, I'm just checking the label.
Yeah. You never put this in the boil wash. Anyway, so so that's that. I'll tell you what we're doing for next week's movie when we get there, but we won't be doing Ju-on, I can promise you that. But anyway, yeah, so thank you, Martin. Thank you, Greg. And if anybody else wants to leave any feedback or look at Martin's contextless images which describe a podcast perfectly, do head over to the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Or if you want to send any feedback in, just hit us up on Twitter, which is @BlackDogPodcast, or go to the blackdogpodcast.com page and a website, and just click on Contact Us, and there's a little form that sends us an email and stuff. But anyway, now it's time to gird our loins, to brace ourselves, to hit pause while we let the jingle play, so we can all go off and get a very stiff drink before we review Llamageddon. Roll the jingle.
I see it's nearly 5 o'clock. I'm here at home, my work's all done. No question where I'll be tonight, a place of cinematic fun. It's the lockdown, but I will not pout. Oh, my friends, I won't be seeing this out alone. There's Lee and Elton and Jim and Darren, all sitting far apart for social distance. We're at the shut-in cinema, down in the bunker of shun. Down in the bunker of shun. Hey, fellas, it's been nearly 5 years. You gonna let me out now or what?
Right. So, Llamageddon. Llamageddon's a film, allegedly. There is no Wikipedia information at all that I can tell. Though looking at the IMDb trivia page, apparently the movie, before it was included on the Amazon Prime subscription, it had a standard definition rental price of $1 million, and the HD version was $1,000,099. So there you go.
What?
Unsurprisingly, nobody watched it. I don't think anyone wanted to watch it. I can't remember where I read it. I think it was sent to me as a message on Facebook. I think I will have a look and double check. But apparently that was Will Catlin Hallett, the fiendish Dr. Will, sent me the information that the film had a budget of $3,000, which they got as a grant from the university, the people who made it. Actually, I should probably tell you who made it, because these people shouldn't go unpunished.
No.
No. Louis the Llama stars as Killer Llama, which is very method acting. Let's go through the cast. Yeah, there's Danny Abassa as Danny. There is Pinky Branwellis as Mel. There's L. Lean Burnside as Alex. James Earl Cox as Floyd. It was produced by James Earl Cox. It was art direction by James Earl Cox. The art department had James Earl Cox as listed as prop master Jacques M. Fellin. There's I haven't even got a director here. Hold on, it doesn't even say a director on this.
Howie Dwayne?
Really?
Dwayne?
Yes, Dwayne.
On IMDb,
if you watch the credits, you see all the same names just crop up again and again.
That'll be why then.
Oh, don't get me started on the credits already.
What would you? Yeah.
Don't.
James Earl Cox again wrote it. Howie DeWin wrote it, and Howie DeWin directed it. Oh, and a special mention because it offended me in a way that I've rarely been offended before, but visual effects are by Richard Simbles and Anthony J. Rickett Epstein, also listed as Vincent Clay under visual effects. Yeah, and the animation department, there was animation as well, apparently, allegedly, from Kyle Newton and Aaron O'Shannesson. Wow, noms. Right, well, that's it. I have no other information. The trivia is not even trivial. It barely even counts as anything, as information. Goofs. Interestingly, under IMDb, goofs. This movie got made. I think is probably the best goof listed down.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, under trivia, which is also supposedly goofs, but we'll work through it. Dan, the character Dan, changes his shirt 23 times throughout the entire film. At 33 minutes, the cameraman can be seen in a mirror. And the credits show the entire movie again, just at very high speed. And one character's facial hair disappears and reappears mid-scene. That's it. I won't even ask how much you think it made, because I can pretty much tell you that it's the square root of fuck all, if there's any justice in this universe. But we are not in a just universe, but I don't know. It doesn't say. Nobody knows, because Amazon obscured everything. I will tell you that I am drinking Peroni, which is funny enough what I was drinking yesterday when I was watching this film.
Okay.
Which is the most interesting bit of information. So before we get on to discussing the movie, let's go around the table. Jim, you picked this, so you go last.
Okay.
And And Elton, what did you think of this film? Just top line.
Top line on
Yeah,
this
just
movie.
quick one line, and what do you think of it?
Well, it is terrible. I've got nothing amusing to say about this. It is a terrible movie, but I don't think it is one of these terrible movies to be made terrible just for the sake of being terrible.
Mm-hmm. Really?
But I'm sure we'll get into that very, very soon. But it wasn't great. It really wasn't great at all.
It wasn't great. The understatement of the century. But yeah, go on.
See, without getting into it, it wasn't great, and then we'll get into it. There we go.
Okay. I thought this was absolute dog shit. And I won't get into it either because it is going to be the majority of the review, I suspect. But yeah, I have a different opinion to yourself, Elton, on the was it made to be awful? Because I think it was, and I think that's the worst kind of movie. Ones that try and do this kind of irony, but we'll get into that. But I thought this film wasn't even funny. It was trying far too fucking hard. And when everyone's telling me, "Oh, keep an eye on Dan's shirts because that's hilarious," after about one change between scenes, I was just like, "Fuck this." So anyway, yeah, I thought this was bloody awful, and frankly, I'm giving it more time of day now than it deserves. So, Jim, what about you? What do you think?
Well, you've seen those adverts, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where ad men try and convince you that you can spend £700 on a phone. It'll be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You can take photos on it. You can make music on it. You can do animation on it. You could make a movie with this phone. This film is why the cunts who make those adverts should have said phones, put up their rectums, and their heads smashed out with a whip made out of various chargers.
Nice. Put that on the fucking poster, you Twitter bot bastards. Yeah.
And also, don't spend £700 on a phone, because they're lying.
Well, there you go. So I think apart from Jim's hatred of phones, I think we're all on the technology. I think we're all on the same page to certain degrees. So I guess the only interesting discussion to be had from this, it is fucking awful. We all agree that, right?
Yes.
Oh, this was birdemic bad.
Yeah. And I guess that's where it comes down to. Where do you see it being on that kind of being made to be awful from the start? Because I have a real knee-jerk Twitch reaction whenever I see something like Sharknado or Clownnado or Velocipasta or this sort of thing, where you know that what they're doing is making a shit film deliberately so they can go, ha ha ha, look, we're making a shit film. And
yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that. It's the Asylum type thing, isn't it? And I don't think it's ever been funny.
I think Garth Marenghi's Dark Place did it all right. But yeah, I take your point, but go on.
I think the very first film like this I encountered was Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. And I don't know if that kicked off the genre or rebooted the genre. I'm not too sure. But that's the first one I saw.
Yeah, I'd say this goes back to Troma, who in the 80s made deliberately schlocky movies that often were deliberately terrible. And although, in fairness, half the time they were trying to be... They had other jokes other than, hey, it's a bad movie. Didn't always work. But, the Asylum very much picked up the baton and refined the formula of that kind of, it's a terrible movie, and that's the joke, that it is a terrible movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the poultrygeists of this world have long since passed. But yeah, go on, carry on, Elton.
But there was some of them made it into cinema, though, didn't they? They didn't all go straight to DVD or to Sci-Fi Channel or anything like that.
No, but they were riding on the wave of the home video market mainly, weren't they? Jim?
Yeah.
But there was, I think, like with the likes of Mega Shark and that type of thing, it was someone would buy that movie and go, "Oh, I've got a really terrible movie. You should come over and watch it." And at that time, I wasn't aware of these other films being made, so this was kind of my first venture into that. That's why I say that's where I don't know if it was rebooted or what, but that felt like the mainstream kick in. And then people got onto it, and then you'd see other friends who are a bit behind and not actually catching up in time, and then all of a sudden they got like a Octo Shark or whatever it is, and they're like, "Oh, this is the greatest movie ever." You show it, and you're like, "Well, yeah, I've seen that a couple of years ago, and I'm already bored of this." And it continues and continues, and they are made just for the point and laugh aspect. They're not there for. They're not going to tell you a message or anything like that. It's not like He-Man where we all stand around with our hands on our hips and laughing. It's not like that at all. But with this movie, I don't know what it is. This is a very, very low budget. Yes, that is given. But I'm guessing, without doing any research into this whatsoever, these are all in like the same college or whatever they're, the film college or doing something, and that they've all got together and gone, "Look, let's make a movie. It'll be terrible, but let's go with it anyway." But I don't think they went into it with the thought of, let's make a bad movie and it will be terrible. I think it was, let's make a movie. We've got this script. It's silly, but we're not going to try to make a bad movie. And I think there's a big difference. I think it comes from the heart as well. I didn't get the feeling that they went into this going, "Look, it's got llamas. We're going to make a shit movie, but we want it to be shit. And to cover up the fact that it's shit, we're going to make it even more shit." I don't think it went to that level. But you do. Yes. Jim, do you think that as well?
I think kind of my gut feeling is that they did think, haha, we can make a shit movie. I think they had some thin ideas of trying to. I think what they were, if they had ambitions, they were hoping to make Black Sheep.
Yeah.
But they had a dearth of several things. Lights.
Yes.
Microphones. A script. Actors. Fuck me, this was rough. I mean, this was Birdemic bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, so I weighed up kind of, what you can talk, "Oh, that's a shit film," and people get really like cross about, "Oh, Thor the Dark World shit." And it's kind of, no, you should see The Room, my friend.
Yeah.
There's levels of, on different type, films are shit for different reasons, and it's kind of, like Birdemic, I think, was the work of someone with brain damage who was exploited, frankly. You know what I mean? It was someone who wasn't, as we say in this country, the full shilling, who made this laughable film, and someone thought it'd be funny to release it. I mean, this is college students, and it is kind of, this shouldn't have been seen outside of, some common room or student digs. Yeah. I think it'd be fine for that if you know all the people. It'd be a lot funnier. But really, this is amateur hour stuff. It should not be. It should not have got out into the wild.
Yeah, I mean that is the thing. I mean the problem you've got is you've got this kind of impenetrable bulletproof shield of saying it's a shit film. We know it's a shit film. Winking at the camera and making it as shit as possible, but in a way that you show yourself to either be incompetent or you're so knowingly doing it that it isn't even funny. So, for example, Dan constantly changing his shirts, which everyone informed me was the height of hilarity. And let me just inform you, the jokes I tell at the beginning of this podcast every fucking week are funnier than Dan changes his shirt because, haha, the continuity man didn't see it. Bollocks did the continuity man not see it. You know what I mean?
Who said the continuity man didn't see that?
That's the implication, isn't it? Because the thing is
it?
Well, here you go. See, here's your problem, right? If you watch, the Fumbleys are just rocking up here in the background. But if you watch a bad movie where the continuity is buggered because there's no one keeping an eye on the fucking script or the continuity or anything, you get things that are genuinely hilariously bad, like The Room, like bits of Evil Dead, because they were filming in a bloody over
2 years,
over 2 years, and the hair changes size and all this kind of thing. People get beards and all this sort of thing, because those are genuinely things they can't control. Those are things they can't deal with, or like Bad Taste. When we watch Bad Taste and, Derek doesn't run and all this sort of thing, 5 minutes later he's put on like 16 stone. And it's like, well, of course he has, because the film was made over like 30 poxy months, Yeah. So you get those moments which are unintentional and yet hilarious because they feel like that something has changed behind the scenes. If you have an actor literally go between scene to scene to scene, and every scene he's got a different shirt in it, that has to be a very funny gag to carry it off. But secondly, if it doesn't work, don't fucking lean into it and do it for the next 90 poxy minutes, because it ain't funny. And you're doing the Garth Marenghi thing, and the thing with Garth Marenghi is even that. I don't know if you've seen this, Elton, but if you look it up, it's one of those things where they knew that they had to make something look deliberately shit. And they knew that less was more. So they would do like a thing where it looks obviously shit, and then they'd cut back to talking heads talking about it.
Right.
About making it. And the gag would also be about making the film and not having enough money to do dialogue or fill out the whole episode, so they would film it in slow-mo and all this kind of thing. And then you cut back to the show and the slow-mo's going on for like half an hour while he's trying to walk down a corridor just talking. And the problem you get with something like Llamageddon, and to a lesser degree with things like Sharknado and all that kind of stuff, is that people think that by trying to emulate genuinely bad movie, they'll get the cult recognition that will make a bad movie a midnight masterpiece, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I imagine that conversation did happen nowadays it'll be like, imagine if this goes viral. That type of thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Viral requires things to feel genuine.
Well, yeah, it needs to be natural, doesn't it? It needs a progression. It needs a spark from something, and for the snowball effect to happen. Whereas if you go into these sort of things and going, well, this will make it go like that, and this will make it go like that, then it totally nulls it, doesn't it?
It's explaining the joke, isn't it? It's essentially, that's what it's doing. And so when you get scenes like, I'm not going to do Dan's shirt because I could rag on that all fucking day. But
I'm going to go on that in a minute. Don't worry.
But the thing with like the people getting electrocuted in the bath or in the hot tub, and the llama's standing there, and everyone's just ignoring it, and no one makes any reactions, and then they get electrocuted, and then you get those two girls who you've barely seen for less than like 5 seconds. And they both walk up, look at these people still going in a hot tub and go, oh, we must step in here because it looks so cool. Everyone's buzzed off their tits. Ha 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 ha. And then put their foot in it. It's like, no, that's not funny. It's not even just, it's that level of hilarity that you get when people who don't know humour. I know it sounds really snobbish, and I really apologise for that. But people who think that they get... When someone's standing in a party and they get one joke right, and they knock out a quick joke out of the park, and then they go to every person in that party and say, and then he said this, and I said that, and it was really funny. After like the 5th or 6th time, you're like, yeah, everyone in this party's heard it, and it wasn't that funny. We were just being polite.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Dark Star, the movie Dark Star, was made for $3,000, and it was a university movie. And yes, it was cheap as chips. It was shit. But what it had was ideas. What it had was a script, and what it had was a beginning, middle, and end. What Llamageddon has is a llama, and it's like, how much memes can we get out of a killer llama? Well, it's
not many, as it turns out. That's the problem.
No, and that's the problem.
I mean, that hot tub scene, that was clearly kind of, Christ, what we're doing, you better kill some people. Let's just do a job a lot and get rid of them.
Yeah, and all that, and then all those scenes where it was clearly they were riffing on Peter Jackson, the camera work of putting the camera right in someone's faces.
Yeah, the mum and the son, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, yeah, but when you look at the way Peter Jackson does that, he's doing it because it's the point of view of someone who's seeing the world in a really fucked up way. Whereas this is just like, oh, he did it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Random close-up, no reason, not orchestrated, as I often say.
Yeah, it's not choreographed, there's no planning. It's just like, what's funny? Oh, cat videos. Let's have Catageddon. So what? Yeah. No one gives a fuck. But anyway, go on, sorry, someone else take the thing. I'm going to carry on drinking beer.
This party... Is this the worst party ever committed to film?
Yes.
I mean, why? Why do any of these people know each other? That's one question. My other question is, in this town, about 20, 21 years ago, was there a severe rain of ugly sticks? I mean... before people know, I am aware of mirrors. I do own several. I have seen cameras. And I generally try not to make personal remarks about people's appearances. And in movies, I hate it when you've all got, like, the 90210 style teenagers who are all aerobicized to buggery to the point of being cyborgs. And that kind of fakeness. I like seeing real people on screen, but Jesus Christ, this bunch were unappealing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just, they all looked... strange, but what was weirding me out was kind of, why do any of these people know each other?
They didn't fit together, did they?
No, not at all. There was no. I mean, it didn't help that kind of literally watching this movie is kind of like being in a waiting room and listening to other people talk because they haven't got mics around the room.
Yeah.
And that's why this is the only teenage party with no fucking music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. I hadn't noticed that for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they can't afford the license, so can they?
No. Well, no, not the license was an issue. Is if they played any music, you wouldn't hear the people at the other side of the room.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's no music.
But that's the thing. That is the thing. See, that kind of incompetence is actually their technical limitations. That kind of thing I go with.
Well, wouldn't that go over the top after anyway? That would be in post, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. But
do you think this movie had any post whatsoever?
Well,
the only posts in this movie are the ones you saw holding up a fucking fence in the outdoor scene.
Yeah, well,
the only post it has was warrants for their arrests after.
All I'm gonna say in terms of post effects, right, is whoever invented the beam effect in After Effects and whoever created the lightning effect in After Effects, when there are perfectly good plugins in After Effects that come out of the box, to fuck those up, you take some effort. I mean, that's That's actual physical effort to produce a terrible lightning effect in After Effects. When you literally just make a solid. Here we go, some After Effects tutorials for you, ladies and gentlemen. What you do is you make a composition, which is very easy. You just click on the little composition button. You make the composition, and then what you do is you make a solid. So you go to Layer, New, Solid. Then what you do is you go to Plugins, Generate, Lightning. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then what you do is you've got 2 points, and wherever you put those 2 points, the lightning arcs between it. So to make lightning that was literally a fucking zigzag, you have to be some kind of absolute dullard. I mean, you have to be next generation fuckwit. I mean, it literally is like someone saying, "How do you make water out of a tap?" And people going, "I don't know, hit the tap with a hammer." I mean, it literally is that kind of level of, you are fucking kidding me, right? I know how to make water. Stand outside, open my mouth, and wait for the clouds to cry. I mean, you absolute dildo. So that's why I had to call out the effects guys, because you know what? Those guys got paid. And if they got paid and put their name on this thing, they should be fucking called out. It was bloody awful. I found it absolutely... I know it sounds really terrible to do this, but I was genuinely offended about how bad that was. Literally, for 5 minutes, you could have made lightning effects that actually were lightning effects. You wouldn't have taken much. So to make it so absolutely incompetently bad isn't a joke. It's literally some kind of brain disorder.
Well, that's why I was saying I don't think it's made in a bad way, because I think they have... You could have a situation where people go to like film college or whatever it is, and wherever these people met, and they're from all different walks of life, and week one they all decide, okay, let's do this on the side. And I think that in my head, that's my headcanon for this anyway. I'm sure there is a more sinister and just underhanded way of doing it and looking at it and going, yeah, we want to make a terrible movie. But sometimes you're in week one learning After Effects. You're like, I can do that. I learned that yesterday. And I've got all my A4 pages and all my little shortcuts written down already. And so I can do that. Okay, fine. Dan can do that. Brilliant. So no one else has to learn that this week. And that person does it for the whole movie. And they're doing it on the fly.
Yeah? Do you know what? I tell you what, I'm gonna freak you the fuck out here. Right? I'm gonna freak you the fuck out here. Because just to shoot this in the foot, right? Before anyone starts telling me, oh, yeah, but you've done this and you've done that, Lee. You've got this experience. You got that experience, right? I'm here right now looking at YouTube, and I'm just going to type in lightning in After Effects tutorial. Well, I never. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There's 30, 35, 36 lightning videos. And the oldest one is nearly 8 years old, and it's called 3-Minute Lightning Effect. It literally is from a group called Adobe in a Minute, and it says creating a lightning effect in After Effects 4 years ago. I could make, using this tutorial, lightning.
Yep.
In 3 minutes. I know I'm going on about the fucking lightning, but the fact of the matter is, what this kind of sums up to me is the cynicism of it. Because
so you think it was deliberately made terribly for a reason to make it look
Yeah.
really, really bad, yeah?
Yeah, because if you don't... Because what they're doing is they're not making it bad because of the limitations. Be it the talent involved, a.k.a. the room, or because of the time and the finances involved, a.k.a. like your Peter Jackson sort of stuff or your Evil Deads. It's that horrible, cynical midpoint where it goes, this doesn't look shit enough.
Okay, but how old would you say these people were when they're making it? What, 20s? They've all got to be in their 20s, haven't they?
Okay, look. Yeah, fine. Okay, they've left. Okay, so let's just say they've gone to film school. So let's say they're in America. So let's say they've been in film school. They're in their early 20s at the most generous. Go on.
Okay, so I just don't think... I know what you mean about the cynicism, etc., and making it bad for being bad, etc. And, okay, I'm leaning towards now, maybe there is a case of, okay, let's make a really shit film, and let's see what we can do. But it's not by 40-year-old people in a room all talking about it and going, right, okay, what can we make a shit movie about? This is like 20-year-olds having a drink, talking about it and going, oh, there's like, someone drove past a llama the other day. Well, we could have like llamas in this. And there isn't that 40-year-old person going, right, okay, let's do this for big bucks. This is 20-year-old people doing it for the shits and giggles. And there is a difference.
But shits and giggles is one thing. Releasing it out into the wild is quite another. And if you release it on YouTube, absolutely, totally down with it. But when you put up a website that says, follow the madness, all the quotes are all things like, Llamageddon, the best damn killer llama movie ever made. Or there's something coming that could change the world as we know it. Brace yourselves for Llamageddon. From various websites, it's because people are just going for the clicks.
Mm-hmm.
See, Dread Central is a horror film website of some repute. And it's saying, there's something coming that could change the world as we know it. Brace yourselves for Llamageddon. It's the title. The title is the thing. Yeah. And then it's like, God damn it, they did it, didn't they? It's bloody disgusting, which is also another, like, Joe Blow version of horror films. It's like, it's as cynical as it comes. You could, there was a science fiction movie made back in 1979, right, in Ibiza, yeah? And what it had was an old lady lying there in the beach, asleep, while someone threw lawn darts at her into the sand, making noises that go da 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 da, and then a Klingon cruiser comes into view with a sock on the back of its hand, and it lands on the old lady as these lawn darts are being thrown at her. Yeah. Now, would you expect to see that film in the public domain? A film that was clearly filmed on holiday while someone's nan is lying on the beach having lawn darts thrown at her, while someone else throws a die-cast Klingon bird of prey at them while holding it in a sock. No.
No, not on like a general release thing. Maybe on like a YouTube.
But I've got it. I've got it literally sitting on a VHS after being transferred from Super 8 from my holidays back in the 1970s. Now, that is shit because I was a fucking 10-year-old and my nan was asleep and everyone else had gone off to the pub up the fucking beach. So I threw lawn darts at my nan and I threw a Klingon bird of prey made out of die-cast metal or Klingon D7 cruiser while holding a sock and threw it at her and filmed it using a handheld camera.
I think I speak for everyone that we need to see this film.
See, but that's the thing. Now, if I turn around and go space battle or something like
Sand walls,
sand granny or something like that, I just come up.
Sand granny.
Do you know what I mean?
Please don't call it sand granny.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, that's what it was. It was me throwing lawn darts as a fucking 10-year-old or whatever I was, 8-year-old, throwing lawn darts while filming a spaceship, while holding it in a sock, while holding a handheld camera. Now, that is bad because I'm a fucking idiot at 8 and I'm bored on the beach and my nan's asleep on the beach and my parents are sitting up drinking sangria 400 yards away up on the bar behind me. Now, that doesn't deserve to be on Amazon.
No, it doesn't. No,
because it's shit and it's pointless and it has no need. But if I turned around and went, ha ha ha, from the creators or from a guy who was formerly a VFX animator on blah 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 blah, the greatest space film ever made with old ladies on a beach, and call it Son of a Beach, or something like that, and then release it, you got to turn around and go, why? But then there'll be a whole crew of people that go, look, it's so ironic because he knows it's shit.
What? I don't know. I really don't know. There was something that you said there as well, about it going on to Amazon as well. Do you think that there should be a cut-off point that Amazon look at? Or do you think that every film is fair play to actually put onto Amazon? And if it gets watched, it gets watched. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I'm not going to be a snob about that. If people want to watch this film and enjoy it, by all means, go for it. Just don't piss in my ear and tell me it's raining by telling me it's funny because it's got the title Llamageddon and there's deliberate continuity errors.
See, I went into this knowing that it's going to be shit and didn't expect anything else. There were some things that I pulled out from it that I didn't mind.
Go on, then.
Okay, I'll run through them. Okay, I first turned this movie on.
Yep, go on.
I first turned this on, and we had a bit of animation at the very beginning.
Oh, don't start me on that.
No, I'm not having a go at the animation or anything like that.
I am,
but well, yeah, that was clearly done on an Amiga 500. But the first thing I started thinking of, okay, well, why do these llamas have reins on? First off, I was like, if they're from a different planet, why have they got reins? And I was expecting a little bit more. I could actually dive in and get my teeth into the actual substance of this movie. But clearly, I was thinking far too much. And then I was thinking, well, why do they have trailers for ships? And who built these trailers? And then I start thinking about that sort of thing. But then I think it was the bit where there was like a crew around the crashed ship, shall we say, the crashed ship. And one of the guys went, well, it's clearly from outer space because it come from the Orion Nebula over there. And like, what? What?
It will take us decades to uncover this technology.
Yeah, but it was what the technology stuff. Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, fine, I get that. But when he pointed over there, I went, yeah, the Nebula over there. What the fuck? What does that even mean? No, it's silly, but I quite enjoyed that. But then I get the guy who had his fingers bitten off. Sorry, I'm getting really excited about this. The guy who had his fingers bitten off. There was a moment because you had the llama, and then I was looking at the reins on the llama, thinking, well, okay, they shouldn't have reins because they come from a different planet, etc. When he gets his finger bitten off, it has a lead on it, and that's the type of typo things I quite like. Someone forgot to take that lead off of that fucking llama.
But
it shouldn't have a lead on it. What? Who's put a lead on it? It's silly. But they're the little things, not the fact that Dan has got another T-shirt on. Now that was fucking annoying. I think if they'd done that 3, maybe the rule of 3 always works, doesn't it? But 3, 4, 5 times throughout the film, that would have worked. That would have been like, what's it? That's it. And when a film does that, it gets you thinking. You know, he was in a pink one, and now he's in a blue one. What's going on there? That's interesting. And then you're trying to work it, and then you have to go back and watch it and find out when the actual change was. But when it's every other scene, and the second time it happens, you're like, but and he's sat down there with bride written on his chest. You're like, but he was just in the brown one. Oh, I see what they're doing. And then that doesn't become funny whatsoever. That just loses all meaning immediately. And that's where I was like, oh, that could have been quite interesting for no reason whatsoever other than a man changing his T-shirt. But when you do it
less
too
would
much,
have been more. They just overdid it too quickly, and then it's just kind of like, okay. You can stop doing it now.
Yeah.
But there was another little thing. You remember when the llama was actually chasing them after they got out the house, and there was like firework explosions around. There was a dog following them around at one point. And I'm like, where's that dog come from? That's a mistake, but I quite like that.
Well, the dog was
the type of thing
in the
I like.
house at the start, and then it's kind of like... I mean, we watched it, and she said, I'd forgotten about the dog, to which I replied, and so had they.
Yeah. Because there's also the bit when the two main characters get left at the house by the mum, and she starts calling people outside the house, and the dog is on 1 minute the dog's on the left hand side of the porch, and then when it cuts back to it, it's on the right hand side of the porch.
Oh,
and
I didn't notice it.
It flip flops backwards and forwards on the porch between each cut,
Right.
And I thought, well, okay, those are genuine mistakes. You know, fair play. I'm gonna let that fly. But there were things like how many times did that fucking door get locked? And each time it just turned out to be unlocked. When the guy gets his fingers bitten off and he comes running in, the other guy comes running in after going out for a wee. He comes running in and goes, there's something wrong with that fucking llama. He locks the door. Then 5 seconds later, the door opens and Brad, Chad, or whatever his fucking name is, comes in. And it's like, hold on, didn't they lock that door? And then there's another scene later on where they're being, after everyone's been blown up, and exploded and the blood's flying everywhere, that people come running back in and they lock the door again. At which point the dad comes in and he's like, didn't they lock that door? And, those kind of bits you kind of go, okay, fine. It's the airplane thing. It's the let's show something and then show something in a way that you weren't expecting. In Airplane 2 when, was it William Shatner's on that TV screen. And it turns out all he's doing is he's standing behind a door and it's a fucking window. And you kind of go, okay, fine. Those bits are genuinely attempts at humour. And I can go with that. Even if I don't necessarily laugh, because you go, yeah, well, you can see it's like a little visual gag, it's a little thing. But where I jump off the fucking thing, where I jump off the roundabout, is things like, oh, look, there's the cameraman in the mirror. Oh, look, there's his shadow. Oh, look, oh, look, Dan's changed his shirt. Oh, look, the bloke's got a beard. Oh, no, he hasn't. Oh, yes, he has. It's like, just fucking stop. It's so affected. It's not funny. It's just bollocks.
Right. Maybe I've gone into this with not the wrong mind.
Well, maybe you maybe you have. Maybe you've got the right mindset. Because, like I say, when I said I was going to watch it, there were people going, I can't remember who was saying it now, but there were people who were literally going, oh, this is, they made it for this, and the internet, these people, look at what they've done, and look at, it's really funny, and ha ha ha, check this out, and it's like, no, there's things to like if that's your thing. Do you know what I mean? If you are into that camp nonsense, then you do you. Absolutely fine. You enjoy it. Go for it. Fill your boots. But again, to use the phrase about don't piss in my ears and tell me it's raining, is don't tell me that they've made a mistake when it clearly is gone beyond being a mistake. It's deliberate. When Tommy Wiseau comes out onto the roof and goes, "Oh, hi, Mark. I did not kill her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark." That's not affected. That's him just being a terrible fucking actor.
Yeah. And that is what makes it glorious.
Exactly. Because you see that there's someone genuinely attempting to try something, and his hilarious attempts not, being completely thwarted by his complete lack of talent. And you're seeing everything that's going on behind the scenes, and you're laughing at the movie with the audience. When it goes the other way is when someone comes out and goes, "Oh, I didn't kill her. I did not. Hi, Mark," and tries to make it like their own little take on that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how best to put it.
You can't force happy accidents.
No.
Happy accidents are happy accidents, aren't they?
No, exactly. I mean, the minute I saw the room the room's going to be the touchstone for this, because the minute I saw the room, the music's playing and there's Tommy Wiseau's name coming up over and over and over and over and over again, and I thought, oh, well, they're taking the piss. But then you see him come in and he does this whole thing of going in, getting the flowers, and before he's picked the flowers up, he's gone, "Nice doggy," and as he's walking out, the person on the counter is still trying to say the line, "You're my favourite customer." The guy's come in and he's just fucked that line. He's fucked that take. He's fucking talking to the dog when he shouldn't be. He's holding the flowers. He completely sodded that take in every conceivable way. And even the camera doesn't know where it's looking. And the music's still playing. And it's just like, there's something so beautifully awful about it. You just go, wow. That's not played for laughs. That is literally just incompetence writ large upon the screen. You go, well, you know what? Hats off to you, man. What you lack in talent, you've made up for in enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Whereas these cunts have just literally gone, "We've got a llama. Wouldn't it be funny if its eyes glowed?"
I see that. I honestly do see that. It's a hard thing because I like the happy accidents. I think they're glorious when they happen. And like you say, with The Room, it's genuine. There is a soul there that you can't fake whatsoever. You can't turn around and act like Tommy would do and it come off as a genuine thing. I know you had like that remake that we saw as well. That's copying of that. But actually try and put that down and be stone cold serious without being terrible is a real hard thing to do. But yeah, oh God, I'm flipping over now. I'm flipping over. But there are tiny little happy accidents, as I've already said, and that makes me amused. But then again, the cynical side of me now is thinking, but are they happy accidents, or have I just been fooled and it's all just a sham? Whereas then it can all just fuck off as far as, because then I see no point in watching it, because I'm going to be like this throughout every single film. So if you show me Sharknado, which I've never seen, I know I'm not going to enjoy that, and I'm just going to tear it to pieces because it's been made to be shit. But if you showed me, what are the other ones? There's like Santa Jaws.
Yeah.
I've never seen Santa Jaws.
No.
And it's got like 3 on IMDb. I know I'm going to go into that thinking, well, they've made it to be bad, and so I'm not going to see any happy accidents whatsoever.
No.
Screw them. And what's the point in me reviewing that? Because I know where my bias lies.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's like on the Facebook group. On the Facebook group, after we said we were doing Llamageddon, there was people like Will Catlin Hallett going, this looks like a good follow-up, which is Killer Sofa. And, Steve Deegan going sort of Evil Bong and Deported Women of the SS Special Section. Or Evil Bong 5, Reefer Madness. And it's just like... It reminds me a lot of those horror films where you used to see in the VHS sort of shops, where the monster on the cover looks astounding, but the fact is they put the monster on the cover. Why? Because they want you to pick it up and go, look at this monster, I want to see this monster. And then invariably it looks like something that Space 1999 turned down for quality purposes. And... You know what I mean? So straight away you're into this whole thing of they've produced something. I mean, we could do one right now. We could literally find something that's silly. So like capybaras. You know what a capybara is?
No.
Okay. A capybara is like a huge 2 foot tall guinea pig cross beaver thing.
Oh, yes.
Right? Okay?
Right.
So, now think of something that would make capybaras look silly or be silly.
An amusement park.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So what you got? We'll call it Chesington Worlds of Terrors, or something like that, or Killibara, or
Alton Terrors.
Alton Terrors. There you go. Or Koala.
Actually, we're not allowed to say Alton Terrors because there were
there were some horrible things that happened there. Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, but you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is capybara killings, or Capybara Creek, or something like that. Create something where you've got a capybara in a top hat with a knife in its hand. Now, if you look at a capybara, you just think, what the fucking hell? That's just stupid. But straight away, it doesn't have to have anything. We just film a capybara in fucking Chesington World of Adventures. We spend 5 minutes out there, then we have 25 minutes of a bunch of people running around an empty house, and then what we do is we do some really shitty effects, and film make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Where you see like the foot of the sound guy or the boom mic comes wobbling in or something like that. And then we'll turn off the tracking on After Effects. So what happens is every time you put an effect on everything, it doesn't move with the camera. We'll have it float about and we'll release it on Amazon with a $2 million rental tag for a week. And then we'll release a fucking press release going... People wouldn't dare rent Capybara Killer.
Yeah. See, as you said, Jim, about less is more, right? If they had made this movie, but toned down on the mistake, tried to make the lightning good, tried to make like the laser eyes good, the explosions good, maybe the dialogue and the redubs good, instead of trying to make them... it doesn't matter how terrible they are. That if we make it terrible, that would just add to the terrible of the movie, and that's good. The more we can layer the terrible up, the worse this movie is going to be, which is what we want. So if they'd taken away from that, maybe they could have had a half-decent movie, which would be in the vein of Bad Taste, etc.
But, well, go on, Jim.
Just out of interest, where do we place his say Birdemic?
I would say this was worse than Birdemic, personally. And the reason I'd say that is because Birdemic feels like a film, as you say, that someone tried to make but didn't have the talent to make it.
Yes, I think I wrestled with this one, okay? But I think Birdemic was better because it might have been gibberish spewed out of a drooling mouth. But Birdemic did have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and things happened. Whereas this had no concept of pacing whatsoever, or even rudimentary storytelling. You know what I mean? Just things just happened until they remembered, hang on, we're doing a killer llama movie, better get the llama in.
Well, I mean, you know, the perfect example is, if you look at, like, Birdemic, there's a scene which lasts about 15 minutes, which is the main character, which is hilariously awful. But the main character walks down the street for nearly 15 fucking minutes. And then he walks into a coffee shop, sits down, doesn't drink the coffee, has a complete exposition dump to some random woman, and then leaves. And you go, so okay, that's either a huge mistake or someone doesn't know editing. But you don't laugh at the deliberateness of, like, how long it took for him to walk down the thing. What you do is you end up getting to the end of the scene and going, what the fuck was that all about? And the fact is, because you're sitting there watching it going, something's going to happen in a minute, something's going to happen in a minute. And it's a mistake. It's literally a lack of talent. It's the room all over again. It's a lack of talent overstepping what they want. They want to see this character seeming, I don't know, intense, you know, and yet being loved by his community. So we have him walking down the street. Okay, you could do that in like 30 seconds. But, you know, he feels like he's got to show himself. You know, got to show his shoes, show his legs, show his fucking face, show him waving at people. And then the scene ends. And you go, well, that's clearly a complete mess. But in Llamageddon, you got, oh, look, the special effects don't line up. Oh, look, there you can see a person in a mirror. Oh, look, isn't it a mistake? Tee-hee-hee. It's just like, no. There's mistakes, and as you say, Elton, happy accidents. And then there's lacks of talent, which make things humorous, like Birdemic, like The Room. I'm trying to think. Manos Hands of Fate is another one, where, you know, it's clearly like someone's got a vision. Someone's trying to make this as best as they fucking can, but they just can't. They just genuinely can't do it.
Well, Manos Hands of Fate, I remember that was made for a bet, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, it's kind of. But I think that was a far better movie.
But that's what I'm saying, and what, like I say, and I hate to keep going back to the fucking lightning in the hot tub, but it's endemic. It's a perfect little marker right there. I've just sent you in your chat a tutorial on YouTube from 11 years ago. 11 years ago. And you can make lightning in 9 minutes in that tutorial using After Effects from 11 years ago. And these guys made something that was just a blue line waving up and down. So you literally got to tell me you've got to actually take what works out of the box and fuck it up. So straight away, you're there in a problem. You're there in a situation where you're literally making things deliberately worse. And that's what I keep coming back to. If you make something deliberately shit, that's not funny. It's not. Not in the context that you're doing it. You're releasing this as, look, it's a hilariously bad movie. No, it's not an hilariously bad movie. It's an unfunny movie you've made deliberately bad because you want it to be seen as an hilariously bad movie.
Oh, there are very few 20-year-olds that are hilarious. Trust me, I know. And you know, there's that moment where they have like that oh yeah, we're going to get my younger brother laid tonight, and then they do like the little dance, and it goes in slow motion. You're like, okay, I get what you're doing, and it went on 5 minutes far too long, didn't it? It went way too long, and that is when someone who thinks they're funny, trying to make something, and there is a moment when you cut it and leave it, and then the funny comes from wanting more of that funny, and they just kept smothering you with they're funny, and it just didn't work at all.
No, and I mean,
I'm really starting to rag on this.
Yeah. Because it's like, look at it the other way. You look at something like the early Kevin Smith stuff, like Clerks, where you can say what you like about Kevin Smith. I mean, say what you like, but the fact of the matter is, he came out of the gate with a script and an idea, and his limitations became a thing to make the film. Black and white, it's cheaper, brilliant. We'll do it that way. Film it in a shop, great, but we can't film it during the day because people are in the shop. Okay, well let's film it at night, but pull the shutters down and make that a gag. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if you want to make a film on the cheap, you can make a film on the cheap. If you can't make films, then you lean the other way and make a film deliberately bad, and then point and laugh at it yourself. That's not the gag. That's you telling yourself a joke in the mirror and thinking you're the coolest person in the room because you laughed.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say about it. And that's, to me, that's it. You could make a decent Killer Llama movie. You can. You can make decent Killer Sheep movies. Black Sheep did it, didn't you? As you said, Jim, right at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Black Sheep fucking did it. Brain Dead, another Peter Jackson movie, did it.
Well, more recently, I mean, we did it on Commentary Club last year. Zombievers.
Yep.
Well, that's actually a well-made movie, and it's funny.
Yeah.
You know
because
what I mean? People had some resources and some talent and some ideas and what to do with things. As I say, this shouldn't have been seen outside of a student bar.
Yeah, or some friends showing, do you remember when we did this?
Yeah.
I mean, there's another thing. When I went to Rob Spry's house with Darren and a few others, and he had this thing on the PlayStation where you literally had a green screen and you would do scenes in the film, but you'd be green screened into it really piss poorly. And I fell asleep because it was quite late, and I'd drunk a bit, and I fell asleep in a chair, and they literally green screened me into Top Gun. So there's Top Gun, and every time it cuts back to Maverick, there's me sitting in a sofa asleep. Right?
Okay.
And it's quite funny because you're sitting there watching someone asleep, and the fucking Top Gun fighting going on, and they're upside down and racing around and all this kind of thing, and I'm there snoring in a fucking chair. Now, it looks shit because the green screen wasn't perfect, and it looks silly because I'm asleep. But is it worthy of sticking on Amazon? No, because right then and there, it's a TikTok, it's a YouTube video, it's a 9-gag video, it's 5 seconds of look at this, it's silly. But when you try and do something like that and you make it like full length, it's just like fuck off.
You need a bit more substance there, don't you?
Yeah, you need something behind it. You like your Kevin Smith, you need a script, or like Peter Jackson, you need directorial chops. So even when it looks shit, you know that there's something behind it, like a vision behind it driving it. Or Tommy Wiseau, even. The film looked like it was going to be a good film, in terms of the way it was shot, but the way it was directed and the way it was filmed and the actors in it, no, it was edited terribly. So there you go. There's your failure. But Llamageddon and Sharknado and fucking every other thing, Iron Sky's another one. You know, you're turning around and you're taking an internet meme and going, wouldn't it be funny if? And because we know we can't pull it off, we'll deliberately make it shit so we can look at it and laugh.
Yeah. See, Jim, when you turned around and said that Birdemic had a start, middle, and end, you're right. With this, there really wasn't any sort of middle at all whatsoever. It started and then kind of just... There was a thing, and then it ended. And that was it. There was that thing where the people came down in the helicopter and they say, yeah, take it back to base. Like, okay. What does that do?
In the field.
It's still there. You're like, what the fuck? You just took your tape down, didn't you, and fucked off. That was it. And then, like, the egg thing, it just appears at the very, very end as well. I know that guy... Actually, I quite liked the guy laying the eggs. I thought that was a bit grim. And there was clearly a budget thing where they had to cut to animation where the guy
They couldn't do the ear transformation.
Yeah. And they cut to animation so they could do something that they really were like, well, guys, look, we can't do this. Let's just draw it instead. And I quite like that. And he's acting as well when he's laying these eggs. I thought he was putting his heart and soul into it, poor bloke. But I think that was the best part about it.
Yeah. But there you go. But those are the funny bits. Those are the bits because as you say, they feel genuine. You're sitting there watching. You're sitting there watching someone being told, "You've got to sell this idea of someone laying an egg," and it's like, well, how the fuck are you going to do that?
Well, that felt like he was the only one that could do that. It probably went round the whole room. Right, who's going to give birth to eggs? Well, I can do this. Right, yep, Stan, you can do that now. That's your job, and now you're the main love interest, etc.
Yeah.
But when it got to llamas punching people in the face and stuff like that, that's when I thought you're taking the piss a little bit out of me. Because that is dumb for being dumb.
Yeah, when that lady got smashed in the face by the llama hooves that were moving so ridiculously slowly, you had no other option but to go, ha 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 ha, look, it's like really fake legs. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Ha. And you know,
I know it's trying to be funny, but it really just wasn't at all.
No, and it's like the trailers. You know, when they put up the Cannes Film Festival logos and go official rejection letter from Sundance, an official rejection from Cannes, an official rejection from the American Film Institute. It's like, so you know it's shit. Mm-hmm. You know it's shit, and you're selling that shitness. It's like, well, as soon as you acknowledge it, the joke's gone.
Yeah, and the one last thing that really pissed me off about it, them showing the whole movie in the credits.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we've seen that before. Didn't Peter Jackson do that once?
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't remember it. I remember the only thing I've remembered with things being in the credits is like outtakes with lots of those movies like the Cannonball Run and all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure we've seen a film where they show the credit, the whole film in the credits, and then they just did it again. I was like, no, don't you dare show me this film because I didn't enjoy it the first time round, and now you're just going to show it to me again. So I've been fed it twice in the same runtime. It's just no, come on.
Hold on, closing credits of the whole film in the credits. No idea.
No,
but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm just overplaying it now, but yeah.
Well, I feel like I went into this. I think I gave it a good, honest review of this because I went into it giving them the benefit of the doubt, but really, yeah, my eyes have been turned to, yeah, you can't quite do this without being cynical, and it's annoying. It really is annoying. But I gave it a fair shot.
Yeah. I mean, there's another film on Amazon to watch out, which is in 4 parts or 6 parts, and it's called Bear Kano, right? And no, but that's the thing. The thing is, it's terrible. It really is terrible. But the thing is, straight away, you've got someone talking straight at the camera like it's a diary and saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to be attacked by a bear Kano," and then you see this really terrible CG bear, and it goes, "Come back for the next part when we escape from the bear in the bear Kano," or whatever it is, and you just go, "No." But you're doing exactly what Llamageddon's doing, which is you're cashing in on deliberately being awful and hoping that people will get drunk, come home with a fucking pizza and put it on with like half a dozen friends and just go, "Ha ha ha, look how funny it is," because they're shit. And that, to me, isn't a gag. The gag is either make it funny or be earnest in your awfulness. That's the funny bit.
When you say about bears and trying to be funny, the only thing I can think of is Keith Lemon dressed up as a tiny little bear getting a little erection.
Well, I mean, my favourite terrible bear is Colin the bear, which I'm sure I've said before, but it's
yes
about a guy who came in to do an animation course at UCL, I think it was. And he was told by his lecturer that you had to make an anthropomorphic animal, do a walk cycle. Often, good thing to do is stick them in space. If you can make them dance, that's brilliant. And then it's just like, and he produced this, and this guy was so offended at like being charged like X £1,000 for a course where he got told the bleeding fucking obvious. He literally made this thing with the bear sort of doing a quick dance and then just floating off into space, and the words caption coming up going, "Thanks for fucking nothing," or something like that. And Colin the bear, to me, stands as a perfect example of someone doing things deliberately awful, but they're doing it for a reason.
That's got nearly 5.5 million views.
What, Colin the bear?
Yeah, bravo.
Bravo. But that's what I'm saying. Colin the bear is hilarious because you've got a story behind it. You've got a reason for it being the way it is. I thought, I don't know. I might watch it again. I love the music. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 and it just cuts. It's like, thanks for nothing. I would definitely recommend people look at that. It's less time. Yeah, Colin the Bear animation from 2007. Wow. Big, yeah. Anyways.
Well, I have nothing more to add onto this, I'm afraid.
Me neither. I think I've gone round about 4 times on the same point. Jim, I mean, we've kind of pummeled you into the background a bit. What do you got any points on this on this you want to bring up?
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's just giving Jim a right to reply.
Well, because I picked this movie as it had a silly title, and we need a change of pace.
Yes,
I didn't expect something as worse than Birdemic. I'll be honest.
Well, you may get worse. You may get worse in a minute because it's my choice. Seeing as Darren's around, Darren's not around, and he will be back next week. But yeah.
Well, I mean, after I watched this film, I was actually genuinely stunned. I was seeing something so fucking incompetent.
Yeah. But that's the bit. It's not incompetent, is it? It's deliberately done to be incompetent. That's the foolishness of it. That's the fakeness. If it was incompetent, you'd give it a laugh. You'd give it a pass.
Well, probably, yeah. That's it. It's just kind of. As I say, this is why you can't make a film on your phone, and do not believe stupid adverts that tell you otherwise.
Yes. That I would definitely agree. Okie dokie. Any last thoughts, Elton, before we wrap it up?
No, definitely not. No,
Okey-dokey.
I feel like I've gone a couple of rounds with Mike Tyson on this one.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Well, has anyone else got any thoughts on Llamageddon? I know that there was at least one on the Black Dog Facebook group about it. Do you disagree with us? Do you think it's a piece of unalloyed genius? In which case, do tell us. I think Will Catlin Hallett has an opinion that it's actually a lot funnier than it is, but fair enough. Everyone likes it. That's fine. I'm quite happy to be ignored on this one, but But if you've got any thoughts, leave them on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Or, as I said before, go on to the blackdogpodcast.com and leave us a message through Contact Us page, or hit us up on Twitter, which is, again, unsurprisingly, Black Dog Podcast. And that's that. So, time to do the next film. Now, as I said, because Darren's not around, Darren's kind of been knocked out of the queue a little bit, but so it moves Jim up one, and so therefore it's me next. And I've got 2 films here that I've got in my head. Well, actually, I've got 4. But what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to go for an old classic, just to kind of level the floor a bit, because we had deadly serious and very grim and tense movies, and then Jim course corrected with Llamageddon, and that's fine. I mean, he was right to do so. I think it was a good call, because
yes, definitely.
We kind of lightened the load. So I think I'm going to pick from one of these now. I'm going to go for something a little bit more serious, but I think it might be interesting to talk about in the modern context. And it is a film that was an adaptation back in the early 80s of a Stephen King book. Very old Stephen King book. It's not the usual ones that you would suspect, like your Salem's Lot or Christine or anything like that. And it stars Martin Sheen, and it also stars Christopher Walken. And it is on Amazon, and it is The Dead Zone. So, there you have it, The Dead Zone. Now, have you seen The Dead Zone, Elton?
I'm just punched it into IMDb. I don't think I have.
Interesting. Okie dokie.
I might.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. That's fine. It's on Amazon Prime. Jim, have you seen it? I imagine
I have.
Yeah.
I was meaning to revisit it for a while because I think, I think there's some interesting far-sighted parallels to be drawn in the Martin Sheen character.
That's kind of where I was, because I was going to go along with the silly name titled films and go for something like Guns Akimbo with Daniel Radcliffe. But then I saw Dead Zone was on Amazon, and I thought, actually, there might be something a bit more to this, especially in the modern era.
Absolutely, yeah.
Interesting. So there you go. So next week, we will be back to do our worst Christopher Walken, which sounds roughly like David Bowie, and I've kind of gone off the piste with me accents. I have no idea what I'm doing now. I think I'm doing a laughing gnome. What the hell's going on with my Christopher Walken? Just a thing, Anyway,
you've got a week to practice.
I've got a week. I've got to really give it some work. So we shall be watching The Dead Zone. If you've got any feedback for that, by all means, send it in to the usual channels. And we shall see you all next week for that. But before we go, let's find out what's happening in the other podcast realms. So we head on over to you, Jim. What's happening in Hypnagoria land?
I'm continuing with my history of Universal Horror over on the main show, while on Commentary Club. I've just released a commentary for the only Judge Dredd film. There isn't another one. The Carl Urban one from 2012.
Yes. Thank goodness you said that. This ending of this podcast might have lasted a lot longer if you'd gone the other way. Yeah, okay, cool, nice. And that's all over at hypnagoria.com, yeah?
Indeed it is.
Brilliant. And what about you, Elton?
I have just released an episode on Shunk Lab called Sports Video Games, where I'm talking to Lee Harvey about sports video games.
Nice.
And a lot about letting referees chase you around on the pitch as well. So,
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Just as an old video game geek.
Mm-hmm.
Does Speedball come up?
It does come up, yes.
Fantastic. In which case I shall actually listen to it instead of just downloading it.
As long as you download it, that's fine. So my children can eat. That's fine.
I've already done that.
Good.
Okay. And that's over at rogue2media.com, yeah?
Yeah, that is, yes. But I also would request, it's getting very late, ask people to go over to iTunes and go to Black Dog, the Black Dog podcast, and give us a rate and review over there, please. That would be great. It helps us up an imaginary ladder and opens windows to other people seeing us. So, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Which is amusing because I actually tried to find us on the actual tune of I, and the only way you can find us is if you actually type in our name. So unless someone's actually specifically looking for us, we're on a hiding to nothing. So there you go. Yeah, we've lost our front page status, I'm afraid. But there you go. It's all BBC and fucking NPR radio these days.
Yep.
Oh, and something called Hypnagoria, whatever the hell that is. That's on the front page all over the place. But there you go.
I had no idea about that.
Yes.
My trick with iTunes is every week on a Tuesday it pops up, do you want to update this pointlessly? And I go, no.
Yeah, maybe that's where I went wrong. I said yes. See, that's it. I fucked it up. So for the 16 people who are still listening to us from all those years back in 2009, thanks. But if you can get a couple of extra people listening, that'd be great.
That would be amazing.
But, we're still doing well in Venezuela. We're still 51st most popular podcast in TV and film in Venezuela. We're doing well there. Hello, everyone in Venezuela. So, anyway, we'll be back next week for the Dead Zone, and Darren will be back next week to tell us about all those children he put in cages in Mexico. And so until then, thanks very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Elton.
You're more than welcome.
And we shall see you all next week for the Dead Zone and terrible Christopher Walken impressions. So until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all soon. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.